Welcome to the Trades Podcast, a podcast about the business of home improvement and promoting the trades to young adults. In this podcast, we talk with business owners, educators, and professionals about the benefits, skills, and related experiences of the home improvement business. Tips to help you with being successful from entry into the trades or established business owners. In this podcast, we hope to influence some young adults that the trades as a career is a great option leading to full and prosperous life. I'm Danny Torres, an MC, DJ, and podcaster, inspiring young adults by shining light onto career opportunities in our world today.
And I'm Jeff Mudd, home improvement contractor, writer of the Millionaire Carpenter Series, and podcaster.
Stay tuned to 15 to 20 minutes of insightful tips. Welcome everybody. Here we are in the Trades Podcast. My name is Danny, DJ Danny.
And I'm Jeff Mudd.
And here we are. What a wonderful Thursday that it is. A beautiful day in May. Jeff, we are here sitting down with you today.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a chance to talk a little bit about how some young adults can benefit from getting into the trades.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what our goal is with this podcast. And again, I'm really excited that we were able to really come together and do this with each other. And just kind of even just understanding your background of how you got into the trades company, trades business, trades industry, and just really how you have a really good story on how you got to this point, pretty much.
Well, we all have life stories, and in my early 20s, it was nothing glamorous. I was not the best of students in school, and had a few problems, and kind of just fell into working for other people doing handyman projects. So when I look back, I had a really strong background in home improvements and maintenance work, but I also look back, what if I would have specifically looked at a trade and got a good education or some vocational training early on? How much farther I could have excelled in that. And that's one of my goals, is to learn from my mistakes, be upfront, talk about it, and influence some young adults that the trades are absolutely a worthy career, a good paying career, something you can support your family on and have a great life, take away the mystique of not going to college, not going into debt because of college. Yeah. You can start off in your 20s and have a great career doing something that you enjoy and you love and have fun and still have a life afterwards. And honestly, if you're 35 and find out your passion is, being a mountaineer, now you've got the resources because you've had a good life to get there, or whatever your passion turns out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and just to kind of get some quick background on you, at what age did you find yourself in the trades industry?
So like I said, all through my 20s, I had some various jobs, but in my late 20s, I was basically working for a maintenance company, doing apartment renovations and stuff. So I had a variety of tasks. Some of the renovations required carpentry work. And by the time I was 30, I had a small handyman business, few different employees. I was trying to be an entrepreneur, and it was a good run. But I had my first kid at 30, and I had to get a real job. So by the time I was 31, I was working for a local termite company, doing termite damage repairs.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned earlier, that you were working with other professions in other areas of, your maintenance. Did you see, the benefits of working in the trades that allowed you to get, I guess more information, more experience to kind of bring in from other professions that you were in, from the other maintenance jobs?
So the different jobs that I had definitely gave me a very broad skill set that I could take on to the termite damage repair. I definitely, when I was working on a customer's house, doing some termite damage after a termite inspection, I knew why the framing was that way from working on a house previously. I knew how it incorporated the siding and the stucco and how it was connected to the foundation. So having a whole big picture helps me be a really good termite tech at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, that's great to hear that. I mean, you saw a little bit more benefit from the trades industry to provide some more info on how to, grow within the company and kind of see exactly your path into the trades industry.
Absolutely. So I was, like I said, in my late 20s, I did start a handyman business, had that entrepreneurial spirit, but needed something a little more stable. I still wasn't experienced enough to continue running a business, and we had a little bit of a recession at the end of the 80s also. So working for a stable termite company definitely helped define the career path that was available to me working for a little bit larger company, and that brought me through the different levels of licensing. So I was able to get my inspector's license and my treater's license, and then I moved into doing full-time termite inspections, which essentially is a sales consulting job. You have to go in, do an inspection, determine what needs to be done, and then you're consulting with the homeowner or the real estate agent and telling them how it needs to be done, why it needs to be done, here's the rules it needs to be done by, and convincing them through a sales process that, here's the price.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great info. And, for everybody out there, we're recording right here from the North San Diego Business Chamber location here in Rancho Bernardo. So shout out to them.
Yeah, really grateful they let us use the room here.
Yeah, beautiful room, nice and spacious, and we're not in a little cramped studio. I think that's a good feeling to have too.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, next question I was gonna kind of go into something that we thought would really be nice to share would be, do you know of any resources that would benefit any young adults through the trades industry, information that you have and have experienced?
Well, the world is definitely changing and digital right now, Danny. I mean, you can learn a lot shutting off the TV and watching YouTube. You can learn specific skill sets on how to. I mean, currently I'm watching some wood turning videos on how to do wood turning projects at home for myself as a hobby.
You'd be amazed. You can be amazed what you find on YouTube.
Absolutely. I wish it was around in my younger days. So that's one direction. But one of the goals here at the tradespodcast.com is we interview and get in contact with more people. We want local San Diego resources for young adults to go through that they can click on and have direct contact with training institutions, vocational schools, the plumbing schools, welding schools here in San Diego. There's a lot of local vocational schools that are great resources for young adults that have financial assistance to go through. Later on, we're going to talk with some of the guys from the different unions in here, and the apprenticeship programs and how that all dials out. There's job placement assistance programs. So we're going to talk to some people from Workforce San Diego. I think it's one of the great resources here for San Diego. So all that we're going to get posted as we talk and define them on thetradespodcast.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes to show, again, even with some other interviewers that we had on the show, the type of hands-on training that they provide too. They have certain resources, and there are certain companies that really put you in there, and they really train you to be, to carry on a career and a skill that you can use past their company.
Absolutely. Great point, Danny. So there's a lot of employers here in San Diego at this time that are just dying for motivated young adults to come in and learn their craft. They'll teach them how to do painting or plumbing or HVAC or welding. You have to pay your dues. You got to work, but you're going to learn a trade that will make you a good living if you can, have a good mindset and, overcome the basics of getting to work every day on time and, having some motivation. So we'll definitely put out different employers that we talk to that are hiring and what their expectations are.
Yeah, Jeff. So, moving on, one thing I really wanted to ask you is, how do you recommend a young adult on how to pick a career within the trades? With so many, options out there and so many, different, different things that you can really see out there, that you can do within the trades industry. I mean, how does someone really choose?
Well, there's lots of different ways you can choose, Danny. One of the things you can look back on what was fun in school for you. Were you the guy that always played chess? You probably might be going to college. But if you're the guy that played football, and then when football practice was over and you had to go out there and help your dad, plant the roses, and he liked the English style of no form and no layout, but you liked everything in a row and laid out correctly, that might be a clue on your personality and your traits there. If you were the girl in school, and that leads me to one of the stories in the Millionaire Carpenter book.
Yeah, exactly. One that I think we were talking about it earlier. Sally, the tile setter.
Yeah, Sally, the tile setter. Sally, in her school, her friends knew her as a smart, energetic, friendly girl, but they knew she hated the bookwork. But when she had projects to do in different areas of school, she was the go-to person to get them done. She did a diorama thing for testing the radiant heat with light bulbs and stuff. And her and her group, they got first prize on that. So she was creative, and she knew how to figure things out. And her story goes on to tell about when she graduated high school. She didn't know what to do. Her uncle lived, a few hours away. He was a remodeling contractor, so she went and spent the weekend with him, spent all weekend talking, and, he pressed the point with some questions, and hooked her up with a tile contractor in the area. So she went back home, packed her stuff. A couple of weeks later, moved in with her uncle, rented the bedroom, and went to work as a tile setter's helper. He's an old guy, knees hurt. It's hard to work on tile. You're on your knees a lot, so she was doing the cleanup, but she put the extra effort in, watching videos, reading books, asking questions, learning the craft. And, she moved right up the ladder. She was doing projects on her own. She was, had a reputation working for the company. She made more money, got her own car. That was a goal of hers out of high school, get a car. So the story goes on and on. Her mom got sick, 5-6 years later. She had to move back home, but she, still needed a job to pay the bills. So she's doing the research, where can I get a job as a tile setter here? Found a homeowner post online for somebody to come out and redo their kitchen bathroom, I think, our master bathroom, all the tile. And she pitched him, got a great side job, made some money. Homeowners were super impressed. They referred her to, a couple of neighbors. 3 or 4 side jobs later, her business started. Give her a few more years. She had her contractor's license, great reputation. It's just a fantastic story of success in the trades, working your way up, being willing to start at the bottom and learn the craft, putting in the extra effort, showing up on time, and being in line with who your personality is, your skill sets. So I really liked it. It was a great story that I had to tell.
Awesome story. Awesome story. Because, just like you mentioned, it really just stems back to her original, passion. Started in grade school, from her class projects to helping, have certain skills that maybe she didn't realize at that time. But when it came down to it, where she had to, she wanted to set goals for herself, what she wanted on her personal side of life, but how was she going to get there? And she used her passion to really tap into that tile market.
Yeah, absolutely, Danny. I think it's, how do you recognize the things you've done in school or you've done at home to define what will be a good fit for you in the trades, make you feel fulfilled and happy and successful, in their trades. Some people are going to find the monotony of going to a customer's house every day, the same old house, doing a remodel for 4 months is not that fulfilling for them. Others might look at that, this is a 6-month project and, feeling super fulfilled when the project is complete and looking at it. Others want to see a different set of rose bushes every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody's different. So digging in and finding what, fits with you and draws it out, talk to your parents and people, it's not all about that college recruiter and going into debt and getting a degree in something that you really don't care about when you're done.
Yeah, which unfortunately a lot of folks are kind of falling into that category right now. But it's just a matter of, really, like you said, being in tune of who, where you see yourself in life and just kind of figuring out, where that path is going to take you. And I think it's something that we mentioned earlier where, whether it happens now, right out of high school, or, years down the road, that you realize that there's other opportunities out there for you within these style trades industries.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a local deck builder here in San Diego that college degree, went to corporate America. By the time he was 30, he realized he hates this stuff. He took him till he was in his 30s to pay off the college debt, but it wasn't too late for him to change. And he is a very successful and happy new baby in the house. Person switching gears. He's got 3 or 4 people working for him, booked out for months. A great success story.
Yeah, and there's many of those out there, and there's a lot of Sallys out there, that are still trying to figure out, what it is that they might want to do, and it's just a matter of really looking at yourself and really finding out what it is that you're really passionate about and what you're happy with doing. And there's a lot of resources out there. Also, really tap into exactly what exactly we want to do here. Just head over to thetradespodcast.com, and it's going to be a really valuable resource for a lot of younger generation folks that tune in. And again, you don't have to be young. You don't have to be a certain age or person to be jumping on this train, because this is going to be really a great resource for all.
Absolutely. You made a good point when we were talking earlier offline that people that have worked at McDonald's and they've worked their way up to a manager in the hustle and bustle at a McDonald's. And McDonald's has done great in a lot of the areas of training young adults. It's a first job. They get a lot of great experience. But people can outgrow that, and it's not too late to decide, I'm tired of being a manager. I want to hustle bustle. I want to use my hands. I want to build something, and I want to be part of something bigger. I want to manage. Varieties of reasons, that you can shift in the middle of your life or whatever age you're at.
Yeah, awesome. I think that really does cover, all those resources that can really help out the younger generation and what we're doing here at the Trades Podcast. So thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot more interviews and talking to some business owners here in San Diego. And as we branch out nationally, I've got some connections with deck builders back east that would really love to say their piece.
Absolutely. Can't wait.